carried away in that presentation.
Well, I was too, Cindy.
Can you hear me? Then we'll be good with that. Yeah, you know, I was sitting here thinking, I know why I love this work and why I really enjoy coming back out into communities and school districts and just listening to the enthusiasm from not just Dr. Bost, although certainly I think everybody in the room would agree. I've never seen her when she had a down day. I haven't, you may have, and you know, I've been here several times, I guess, over the last year or so, and I've been with your design team more than that. But I was here for your kickoff. And I just love this community, and I love the enthusiasm and the deep care that you have for your children, all of your kids, and that you want the best for them, and that you want to be able to have the kind of education system that your children grow up and they can seek careers anywhere, but that a good number of them want to come back here and live, and not only the children that grew up here, that you recruit some of those people out of Maryland or DC or somewhere, and they find this just a great place to live too. So I thank you for that kind of enthusiasm. Now Larry, if I'm not mistaken, you told me I had 5 minutes and I probably used at least 45 seconds of that. We're going to give you just really quickly a handout because we didn't put this on the PowerPoint. And I'm going to go ahead and start talking a bit. And this handout is designed to answer the question of one of the participants somewhere over here about next steps. So although there is much that I could stand up here and just reaffirm, I'm going to keep my comments focused on next steps. But the way that I'd like to do that is by beginning with a 30,000-foot view of where we've been and where we're going. And so we think this graph captures some of that. Now, I saw some of you doing what I was doing earlier. It's either here or it's out here. And Sarah and I said we were on the road for the last 2 days, so we're going to make this print a little bigger for those of you that are my age. But what I would like to tell you, or to share with you, is that if you think about, I know you've heard the word design, and I know that you know that your team over here is a design team. And so a lot of the process that your community has been engaged in is based on a design process that designers in all kinds of fields use, but more specifically, we pulled a lot from the engineering field. And we work with partners who say, okay, if there's an issue and there's a problem, let's design a solution around that. And you know what? When we've been confronted with some difficult issues, I've liked that approach. They've not gotten upset. They've just said, well, we'll engineer around that. And it's like, oh, we can solve these problems. So with that said, design has embedded in it the notion of redesign. And Dr. Boss mentioned to you that you have a wonderful plan. Your education, innovation, design plan is a great vision and beginning plan. But you're going to be refining that. So what I want to say to you about the handout and the process is this is our best thinking right now. We put some months, some dates, years on there, but that could change because we want to hear from you and we want to be responsive to your needs. So don't go out and put in the paper that by September X is going to happen, but this is to give you some sense. So Sarah, at about 1 minute, do the 1 minute. And Dr. Bost, I thought that you were the one we were going to have to watch on time. It's me. Okay, if you look at this chart, your engagement and your design, we have already taken care of those two phases. Your education, innovation, design plan is what you just saw. Now you're moving into this third block, and we're going clockwise, review and feedback, and redesign. What you're going to be doing over the next couple of months is exactly what you're doing here today. I keep pointing this way, but the screens are both ways. You're going to be looking at your plan, you're going to gather your community together, you're going to get some feedback from your partners, from some potential investors, from your NC STEM team, and you're going to refine that plan a little bit, and you're going to move from this wonderful vision plan a little closer to reality and implementation. And as part of that stage, you're going to come up with a signed agreement that it's not anything that's going to be difficult. It's just really an agreement that says we're going to work together much like we've been to move forward. And you have such a cross-sector here. That part won't be difficult. Then we're going to move into business implementation, and somewhere over between March-ish through December, if you like, you're going to work on a business implementation plan. Now, during this time, we're going to come in with our investors, and we're going to say, okay, what do you need to be successful? But our approach is not a grant approach. It's an investor model of you have human capital that we want to invest in. And so we're going to begin embedding some staff here, maybe an MBA to help you with that business plan. Neil Kembry, you mentioned, might be a thought partner from DPI. We met Thomas Carroll in DC, who's been working with the National Commission on Teachers in America's Future. I always have to look. He does a lot with teacher learning teams, and Dr. Voss knows that. We may come in and organize a study visit for you to go see or meet with some people, embedding resources there. Then we'll move into, so you'll have some time to go from vision to much more detailed business plan that you can take to investors, that we can take to investors, that we will share with the people that are already interested in your work. And we'll say, we want you to invest in this community. You will say that. And I agree with Dr.
And
Voss.
we'll be glad to say it.
You will, and you have already in DC and other places. But we are too, because it's a little bit like James Comer from Yale says, we're all in a conspiracy to ensure your success. You know, if you succeed, we succeed. If you don't, we don't. We're in this together. And finally, if you get done earlier than the fall, it's a big job, then we'll go to investors when you're ready. But at some point, it's that old adage, you've got to run, and we'll begin implementation. Now, I may have gone over a minute, but not too much more, and that's your 30,000-foot view.